Alright, what is up YouTube? It's Krod here. I'm back with a good video for today. I wanted to talk about should Jake Paul fight Conor McGregor. I know this is a very corny video. I'm not really like the type of person to I guess like be critical towards I guess like these types of fights. But I think honestly it should probably deserve some form of I guess you know talk about it, right? So yeah, let's get right to it. Um, Jake Paul, after brutally knocking out Nate Robinson in his recent weekend fight on the undercard of Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr., he called out Conor McGregor, saying that he wants to fight him, and yeah, he's really serious about it. He wants to give Conor McGregor a fight for his life, and I think honestly, this fight is not realistic to say the least because Conor McGregor, even though he is a MMA fighter, he definitely can go the rounds to be a boxer, and I'm pretty sure he can definitely be the type of guy to give Jake Paul a really tough fight because Conor McGregor is not a pushover compared to other fighters that would be an actual boxer, and I'm pretty sure Jake would give those type like basically Jake would have a much harder time fighting a boxer at his weight where he cannot get away with trying to think that he's going to just demolish and beat the living crap out of people. And I think that's really what put Nate Robinson at the disadvantage of Jake fighting him. Jake basically had way more experience training for about at least 2 years, day in, day out. And Nate Robinson didn't really have that much training into his, I guess, into his craft, right? He only had like 3 to 4 months of training, and I feel bad for him because it's just like Nate Robinson should have never done anything like that. I would have trained for at least like a year because that's but the more reasonable way to set up a fight, especially if you never walked into the boxing ring, you would always want to learn defense before knowing your offense. And I think that's really where Nate he screwed up because he never really, took it to that level as an athlete to say, hey, I gotta actually learn how to box. I just can't go in there and just fight someone, all crazy and be so crazy with like my punches. I actually gotta think about what I'm doing, and that's what Nate didn't do. He wasn't thinking with his punches, and he was being very, reckless and very very retarded. I would say I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I have to, and that's what Nate did because Nate wasn't being very he wasn't being smart, and Jake caught him with like a good punch, and he got knocked out. That's what happens when you don't think in boxing, because you don't really have that type of discipline, and I would say knowledge on how to fight, educated in the ring. And if you don't do that, then you're going to definitely get KO'd. Um, I think that's really how it goes because most fighters, a lot of them don't use their head. They don't think in their fights. But for those that do, that deserve to be in the upper echelon, those fighters think. And for Jake, he pretty much proved how he can be educated, in his fights. And I don't think Jake Paul is really that good of a boxer. He definitely keeps himself wide open to get hit, but I could be wrong. I think if he's really serious about boxing, he could get up to that level, because I don't see why not. Jake can easily, get to that point and make himself a very good fighter, but I just don't see him like that, because he used to be, that type of, YouTuber to just like waste his time talking to people and just making all these dumb retarded videos. But now him being a boxer, it's just like, I just don't see that happening, because, you know, he came into like, the sport very late. But then on top of that, if you're gonna learn on the job and you come to the gym at least 5-6 times a week or 6 days a week, yeah, I think that pretty much shows your dedication to boxing and makes yourself a much better fighter, because you know how to, make yourself more notable. And I think that's good, because that's what makes fighters into very successful world class athletes, or world class champions. But I think this fight overall, this would not go the distance, because Conor, he has a lot of boxing experience, but definitely not on the level where he's going to become like a world champion. But Conor, he can box. But I just don't see how Jake Paul could ever really face a guy like Conor. Because one, Conor, he's a lot more smaller than Jake. And two, Conor, if he really wants to go that far, he can really just beat the living crap out of Jake, by getting with like a real trainer and a really good team. And I guarantee you, Conor, he would literally smack him. So that's pretty much it. I don't really think this is a fight that Jake should pursue. I think Jake should really fight real boxers, in my opinion. Um, I think that should be made, and we can see where that goes. To be honest, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. Should Jake Paul fight Conor McGregor? And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you. Bye.